Hey everybody, welcome to Busy Gardening with Miss Busybody. What these next few series of videos are going to be about is transitioning your garden from one location to the next. We are moving from this home, and so I'm going to bring you all along on the journey with me as I break this garden down and transition it to my new home. So come along with me as I go through and let you all know what I'm going to be taking with me and how I'm going to be taking it as well. Come along with me. As you all can see, my garden has not been tended to for a while, and yeah, it's overgrown. I have a lot that I am going to be taking with me and a lot that I'm just going to start from scratch again. But one thing that I will be doing is showing you all how I am going to keep all of my soil that I have inside my raised beds. The soil will be moving with me. You heard? All right, so come along with me as we go through the garden and see what's staying and what's going. So I'm just going to bring y'all on over here as I walk the path that I have created for myself to be able to get through this garden. And it looks beautiful wild with all of the black-eyed Susans that have sprouted up all over the garden. It kind of looks beautiful, but all of this high grass we will not be stepping in. The landscapers will be here in a couple of days to get that tamed. But first, what I have been doing is I'm starting in this raised bed here. I have already removed my lavender and put her in a pot. And I have already removed my Italian oregano. Okay, so now that I am back, this raised bed is completely empty with the exception of this one last zucchini plant. And so now this whole bed has been uprooted. I have my herbs in pots and I'm going to water them in. And then we're going to move on to this one here where my pepper plants are not doing too well. Now I can get these peppers unpotted. And now I'm going to water in all of my peppers and all of my herbs that I have uppotted today. So I was able to salvage a couple of my cabbages. 2 cabbage, my lavender, my sage, and then I have some Greek oregano and some Italian oregano. Oh, and some basil. We have a basil plant right there. So we're gonna water these in. Make sure that they survive their transplant. And be back at it tomorrow. Back over here at my compost pile, and look, we still had volunteers growing over here out of the compost pile. I just let them grow. Look how big that beautiful sunflower is. I don't have no idea whether it's a red sun or a ruby eclipse, But we still got volunteer sunflowers growing out of the compost pile. And this looks like watermelon. This looks like a watermelon plant. It surely is. And we got watermelon growing over here. That surely is a watermelon growing out of the compost. Next, I am moving on to filling up this 20-gallon grow bag with the soil out of this bed where I was growing my peppers. So yeah, we're gonna also be removing this mullein and putting it to compost. So until the next clip, take care. Day 3, and once again, I thought my video was recording yesterday and it wasn't, but I thought I recorded me removing my raised beds from around the soil to expose the soil. And so today what I'm going to be working on is still some more composting. I'm going to try to save my green beans too. So yeah, we got plenty of grow bags. And so oh, look at those beautiful purple flowers on these peas. These are field peas, and this is a volunteer plant for my crops from last year. My tomatoes are starting to blush, and this whole blueberry lump of soil is going in a grow bag as well. This is the root to that sunflower that was growing there last year. But yeah, we're keeping that soil and putting it in a grow bag. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Since King Trash doesn't want to be in any videos at the moment, basically what we are doing is removing the corner blocks from these raised beds and getting the wood removed. And so it's not that hard because they were pretty loose, but I do have my mallet to help. All right, back out here on day 3. The black artisans are getting cut. It's a lot to be broken down, but in my mind, I have what I want, how I want it to get done, and that's what's getting done. The next thing I am going to be doing is individually planting out my string bean bushes in grow bags. We're gonna get her over into this pot. All right. So first things first is to get this raised bed from around the soil. They're not that hard. They lift up fairly easy. I can't do this without my son. Okay, so now that I am back with my clamp so I can get my tomatoes secured to the stake, I can be able to get these clamps right now. These are my 10-gallon grow bags that I was sent by Beat and Link. And we're going to be using this 10-gallon grow bags for the last of my tomatoes. Alrighty, this is day 4 and we are back out here today, and what I am doing now is pruning my watermelon vines, trying to get to the meat of each one that has a melon on it. And so I'm going to bring you along with me as we get it done. And so I have been over here tracing the vines that have melons on them and just cutting away all of the fan leaves, leaving the tendrils, but cutting the fan leaves off on the ones that I see have a melon. closer to see the watermelon bed that I just pruned down. Well, this is how we are transporting our watermelons. We have placed the larger ones inside a 20-gallon grow bag, and I'm about to water them in, give them a really deep water, and we're going to get the last 6 put in some of those other 7 and 10-gallon grow bags. So be right back. Getting there slowly but surely. Again, this is day 4, and we have accomplished a lot today. And I'm just getting a break from all of this sun. White yarn rolls up. We're composting it because we can always grow it again from seed. All right, we are back on day 5. In day 5, we are about to start breaking down our strawberries. I see a lot of new baby plants that have sprouted. So we're going to get these strawberries uprooted and put into some of these stackers. Yesterday, I soaked them down really well, and we're going to get these strawberries uprooted today. Alrighty. And I have a few flowers here that I'm going to find a pot for them to go. I have some of my hanging pots, so I do have a few flowers that are finally starting to sprout that I planted down as well. So I'm going to make it easier on myself. And I would like to bring y'all over a little closer so y'all can see all of my runners that have taken root. Okay, so here I see we have a baby strawberry plant. This is the runner coming from the mother plant. So, and I'm thinking it was this plant here, and it's really coming from this plant here. So I am going to cut this runner so that I can free it from the mother. Okay? Also, here's another one that has taken root. And here's the runner. And we're gonna cut her loose from the mother plant. Here's another runner coming from the mother plant. She's gonna stay on there until I can get her in some soil. I have a baby plant there, another baby plant here, and that's actually gotten rather big. So yeah, we have plenty of baby strawberry plants in here that I am going to have to separate from the mother plant. We still have berries on some of the bushes. Here's one I know should be ready. Yep, we're still getting berries. These are the Sweet Charlies, the littler ones, the June berry, strawberry. All of my big ones that I was getting earlier were all of my Albion Day neutrals that were the huger ones. So we're going to be getting these flowers that are starting to bloom and put them in my hanging pots, and getting these strawberries uprooted. Show y'all how this plant has separated into three. We have three separate plants right here that are all on the same node, but you can break it off or cut it apart, and that's what I'm going to do to make three separate strawberry plants. Okay? Cut this first one loose here. As you can see, sorry for the farmer fingernail, but we have one strawberry plant here that has pretty good roots, and she's going to get her own home in this section of the pot right here. Now we have two left, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to snip it to separate them gently so that I'm not cutting any of the main roots. I'm gently separating them. Enough root to establish in its own head in the center. And I'm going to shake off a lot of this excess dead root, because we don't need that. We need the main tap root. We don't need all of that. We need these roots here. This one plant has given me 3 new strawberry plants, and it's a tiny little root trying to develop. All you gotta do is just sit it in some soil. So I'm gonna sit it right there and let it keep developing. And you too. I'm gonna separate these two. And just sit this little nodule and some soil, and it will take root. I'm going to sit it right here. So let me take y'all on over here in the sun where I have been pruning down my AU Rosa plum tree, and my son has been digging up the soil from around it, and yeah, we have gotten her pruned down. We have a fair amount of stuff, and you really don't want to do this in the heat of the growing summer, but in certain circumstances you gotta do what you gotta do. So I'm still pruning a little bit of the top off. And any of the part of the plant that looks like the leaves have been stressed anyway, yeah, relieving some of the stress off of this plant and giving it a second chance. Yeah, we don't want any stress on our plant. Now that I got this bucket filling up and getting hydrated, close that hole back up. Get it all in that this water that the tree is going in is well hydrated. We ain't got no pockets of dry soil down at the bottom. And just so y'all can see how much of the root I was actually able to attain, I got a nice core, a nice chunk of the main tap root, and it was growing in there. So we're gonna get it on down in here about the same height once this water drains out. I lost my shovel down in there. We're gonna get it on down in there. We'll give it a little bit of test, a little moisture, kind of relieve the stress that it just went through. We want to relieve that stress. Lord knows it just had a bunch of stress. So, you definitely want the roots to cool off and be stress-free. And I'm about to get a garden stake, put in here with her. Come on, Buzzy, get out my ear. For right now, I'm gonna use this one, but I'm gonna get a much thicker one here. I just want something for it to lean up against while I go and get the real garden stake. Now we're gonna pack her on in because the water has drained out. And we're about to get some soil put in around this tree. Because I have all of these pots over here, I'm going to go ahead and dump out some of these pots, which makes it a smarter thing to do. This is good growing soil that I was growing my strawberries in. We're going to use this soil in these pots while we got some right here. We have successfully planted our Asian Rosa plum tree. There you go. Now I do want to create a hill so that water drains down and not puddle around the base. The dreaded freeing of the grapes. I take solace in the fact that I know that I can grow grapes. I will not get a chance to harvest these since these aren't ready to harvest until the weather starts to cool, which is in fall. But I have begun to separate the mother plant from the rest of the vine and cut away all of that excess we are going to be throwing away. Yeah, this hurts. This hurts the most out of everything that I have to pack up and uproot. But what we have done is we have freed the vine from being in this chicken wire, which I put that in chicken wire to keep the landscapers from whacking the vine with the weed whacker whenever they come. And so we have cut this one loose successfully. And what we have done is we have saved at least 2 nodes of the second year plant. Okay? And so even though these clusters may survive, they may not, we will see. We are going to be uprooting these vines and pretty much ditching the whole canopy. The whole canopy has to go. It's going to be a loss for this year. It's all good though. We know next year we will definitely have a harvest next fall. Fall 2027. Okay, so let's get one last look at all the grapes we're going to have to discard and throw away. So sad. So sad. I am sad about that, but it's all good. We got to do what we got to do. Back out here on day number 5, and we are about to get to the root of my grapevine. I know I should have a spade shovel, but my spade shovel handle broke yesterday. I'm trying to be careful with this vine.
That was easier than I thought. No, that was so much easier than I thought. I thought that was gonna take hours. That only took 20 minutes. Not even 20 minutes, only like 10 minutes.
Righty. So we have tied one vine, and we're going to get this other one here secured as well, right here. twisty tie, like a sandwich bag twisty tie. And we're going to tighten it and tie it.
This iPhone 7 quality is good.
And here we have one successfully up-potted Concord grape. It's coming. This is the yard now that it is completely broken down. We are getting ready to start loading some things on the truck today. The first load. And getting prepared for this move. Well, a little bit of weathering on some of those. But even if they do die, I have the most important part of the grapevine, which is the new growth, where we will get new grapes from next year. Alrighty. Well, this is it.